Hello, everybody, and welcome to this series dedicated to exploring the intersection of artificial intelligence and user experience research. I'm Andrea, your host, and we're here to deep dive into the latest AI-enabled research tools. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's get started and turn the spotlight on today's presenter, which is Chirag Narula. He is the co-founder and chief product officer of HeyMarvin, where he and his team are building a product that positively impacts people's lives while remaining playful, funny, and smart. And Chirag, I'm just so happy to have you with me today.
Very happy to be here, Andrea.
Wonderful. I'm so glad that we could arrange this. So with that, why don't we start off with sort of your elevator pitch? What can HeyMarvin do for UX researchers?
Marvin is essentially an ultimate user research repository. So it takes care of your research end to end, starting off with the collection of all your data to analyzing this very complicated data, to finding great insights from all this data and collaborating on this data and finding information to essentially make a user-centric company.
Wonderful. And I know we're sort of focused on the AI capabilities. Tell me how Marvin has incorporated AI.
The thing about AI is if used properly, it can really decrease the time and increase your efficiency if you use it properly. So we have tried to incorporate AI in all the things where it can make your life easier. Starting off with collaboration, starting off with collecting data, starting off with to analysis of your research. Things which would take you otherwise would take you weeks, even months, not even kidding, in many of these cases. We're able to do that in under a few minutes now.
What do you consider Marvin's superpower?
That is a great question. We like to believe it's the power plus ease of it. But you know what? We could actually ask Marvin what Marvin thinks the superpower is. What is Marvin's superpower? Basically, takes into account all your data from all your repository and spits out beautiful results. So automate data analysis. It's a centralized research data. It enhances collaboration and sharing and supports various data types. So don't take my word for it. It's the AI, what AI is telling us.
I love it. And this is particularly because you have been using your own product internally, and so it has all the context for what Marvin is. Is that right?
Because we put all our customer support tickets inside Marvin, all the webinars that we have done in Marvin, all the customer feedback that we get on Marvin, all the sales calls that we do, we put all of this in Marvin, and our AI basically acts on all this data and gives you these results. Beautiful part is, many of these cases, you cannot really take AI's word. So what's essential is you should be able to link AI results to the actual data to build this sort of a transparency with AI, so you can actually trust AI, which is the biggest thing, which is the biggest worry in a world of AI. And what we have done is you can actually see where this word is coming from, where this data is coming from. It's coming from the surveys, for example, from my notes, from the documents.
That's great.
Marvin is essentially a research repository. What kind of data are we able to add in it? Files, there's a video files, the audio files, there are documents, Excel files, your presentations and everything that you've done. You can import it from user testing, Google Drive. We are heavy on integrations. You can import it from your Zoom. So all the one-on-one calls that you do, all the focus groups that you do. One of my personal favorite is the surveys. So it'll automatically get all your results from Qualtrics, Pendo, Google Forms. You can make your own text documents. And one big feature which a lot of our customers is loved by a lot of customers is, you can record your own one-on-one calls. You can your focus groups, and take notes with all of that. And there are multiple functionalities to help you annotate your calls. What our customers now do is they'll record this call, they send a bot which records your call, which enters your call, records it, and allows you to take notes right there while you're on the call. So we have multiple discussion guides. What can be improved about how you find new workers? And my answer is, user says it can be improved by doing blah, blah. And all my notes are timestamped. If I do not have time to do that, it's just to press enter and AI will do its job. It'll find what exactly we talked about, where the note should lie.
So it's listening on the call.
It's listening on the call.
And so as long as I, as the researcher, I just click when I ask the question and it will go find the answer.
Yes. If I'm conducting a user interview, I'll just be like, I'll ask this question, let them reply, and I'll just say enter, and AI will do this job here.
Curious about the audio transcriber. Can you tell us a little bit more about how that's working?
So how our transcription is by far, this is what our customers are saying. We pay a lot of attention to transcript because a lot of things arise. At the core of research is great transcript if you're doing one-on-one calls. So we do a lot of post-processing on our transcript. And yes, we're using our AI. We're also using multiple different web services to make this happen. We're doing speaker recognition. There are a lot of great things that we do before we show the transcript to our users. So
thank you. And that's really helpful because, it's all about the quality of the underlying data in order to do, good analysis. So this is great.
You can also just go inside one of our interviews. We can create our notes automatically now. So like, hey, create notes for all my calls. I do not want to annotate it. I do not have time for that. I'll just select one of the discussion guides and I'll make notes for all of them. I'll read through your transcripts. We can edit this transcript and we have all these notes right here that we have, the basics like interview summary and whatnot. But what I like about this is that I can go and ask questions about this interview also. What is this call about? And that itself is saving me a lot of hours. Not just that, I can, what are the key takeaways? What are the pain points? Can you find quotes about something?
It can either listen live and be part of supporting my interview process, or if I have recordings, I can put them in afterward.
Exactly. It's totally depending on what you're comfortable with, what your style of research is essentially.
That's great. So there's so many different ways to bring the data in. What is the way that you interact with the files and all the data once it's loaded in?
What's the next step? As a researcher, I want to analyze all the research that I've collected. I'll go to analyze and it has all my notes. See, essentially, the core of it lies in making good notes, any researcher notes. And so once you have all these notes, you go to analyze. There are a bunch of functionality to do affinity mapping and whatnot. Hey, you can do it on Google Sheets. You can do it on Miro or on FigJam. So you can just export your notes. Yeah.
The notes to different formats.
To FigJam. You can either do it with my favorite, which is the Kanban way of doing affinity mapping, or you can, make a new canvas board and.
Okay, and do it more freeform. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So you can still do affinity mapping, and you can still do all of this work if you don't want to use AI. That is. So.
Is this something I can do with other researchers where where more than one person can edit this file?
Yes. This is especially in Kanban board is multiple people can do use the Kanban board at the same time. So if you're doing quantitative analysis, combining quantitative with qualitative, so once you can, like I said, you can add your Qualtrics, you can add your Pendo, Google Forms, all of these things, and we'll keep fetching the data automatically. You can run AI on your surveys now.
Nice.
So we'll calculate the NPS score for you. It'll automatically recognize question that is. Is it just by looking at your CSV, it'll recognize what you're trying to do with this survey. It'll create beautiful charts, and now you can do queries on your surveys also. Like, let's do what are the pain points now from coming from this survey? Can you do a quick thematic analysis? Or I can just ask my query, what are the results?
Right.
And it'll tell you, it'll only work on this survey, on these responses.
So it's contextualizing its response.
Exactly. So this is how we're combining quant with qual. A lot of people also use the thematic analysis. This has been super magical for us also.
I see the thematic analysis, it's like affinity diagramming for me. And so
Yeah,
it gets me, even if I don't stop there, it's a place to, it's gotten me started.
yeah,
And
yeah,
then
exactly.
I can pick it up from there.
And again, if you're interested in knowing Marvin in AI, let's do a quick thematic analysis on all my notes. So it'll take a look at all your notes, does quick thematic analysis. It can do advanced thematic analysis. It can do trend analysis, summarization, and a lot more things like that. So there
Nice.
you have, right? So essentially, this task would have taken me days to do, and all of this is now possible under a few seconds, as you saw. If you do not have the time to even do all of that, just put in your data. You go to auto analysis and you get a few options. Then the AI would do the job for you. All of this is tied back to the files that you've been collecting. So even if you do not want to make any of the notes, it'll still do the job for you.
Okay. So you can take notes, but you can also just analyze across the file.
Exactly. So it really depends on the work style that your company has and the way a researcher wants to work. So we have a bunch of these options like create a persona, thematic, quantify thematic analysis, and a lot more to come.
So someone was curious to see the hypothesis evaluation.
Here, people are not concerned about security. This was the hypothesis. And it says findings, direct evidence against the hypothesis. So it'll tell you the executive summary, methodologies that the AI used, and what the AI thought hypothesis is proven or not. So this is an example of how it should look like. But it's also looking at all the data source. Essentially, it's going through all your files, trying to find a pattern and trying to see if the hypothesis stands or not.
Nice. And this is all auto-generated, is that right?
This is all auto-generated, so you do not have to make notes for that. All we want people to do is collect your data and let AI do the work. As a researcher, you always have to take AI with a pinch of salt. We do not want people to 100% rely on AI. They'll get you 90%, but hey, you got to do that to check the results.
That's what I talk about in my classes is we still provide the oversight and the
Yeah.
sanity check.
Exactly. So I feel the role of a researcher is now to a big part of their job is to, hey, go back and check and see if you want to revise the results in certain way or not.
I think someone saw something called emotion analysis.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
It'll basically calculate, if you look at all the transcripts and the videos, and it'll basically tell you in like a emotion chart of what all emotions is the speaker or all the speakers are feeling, ranging from frustration to happiness, and it's like all the I think it's 56 emotions or something like that.
And what signals is it using to determine those emotions?
It's using your transcript. Once you have these auto analysis, once you have done your manual analysis, you put it in a document, you put it in a report, and you share it with your people. Your beautiful reports, you can put your playlist, you can put your clips from your interviews, put it in a report and share it with other people.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so there's like a report formatting where you can generate a report and then it will be hosted in the repository.
Exactly. Good point. It's hosted in your repository. What does that really mean is essentially we're trying to, like I said, we're trying to make users and companies and organizations user-centric. It means it has to have a place for everybody to come and find your insights, everybody to come and find your reports. And for that, we have something called Discover Research. It's a fully customizable page. You can put your own logos and whatnot, and let's go to Discover mode. Oh wow, we also like to stream our calls for the whole companies to come and watch. So you can telecast whatever interviews you're doing on this page. Then below that, we have all the insights that our company is working on.
Is that more what like find research is more like a
Yes,
traditional
exactly.
box?
You got me right.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you want to get in deep, if you want to look at projects, you want to look at files, if you want to look at interviews, you go in. But if you do not have time for all of that, you just ask the AI. Hey, if you're only bothered with, if you only want to look at insights, of course you can do that. So we have all the beautiful insights right here. Yeah, so this is how we're taking care of the collaboration part of it.
Is it possible to revise or rerun or like have iterate on what the AI has found or what the report is saying?
Yeah, of course. If you go to any analysis, you can reanalyze it, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, or you can be, if you're happy with it, if you're not happy, you delete it, share it with your team, make it public essentially.
And is there a way to interact with it or edit it and like take the
Yeah.
AI analysis and then edit on top of it?
So how you do it is you turn it into an insight, right? And you make an insight, webinar insight. And once you have a document around it, feel free to edit it. AI will do the job for you, but you have to go and edit a few things. You have to find what is essential to you, what is needed by your stakeholders, what is not, and edit a few things before you send it to everyone.
Someone is curious if you can share what language learning model is the AI based on.
So it's not like we put in one model and it'll do the magic for you. So
Okay.
we have to work with a lot of things out there. It's fairly complicated. The transcription engine and the AI engine is fairly deep, I would say.
Can you tell us a little bit about what Marvin's doing to keep our data safe and secure?
We are HIPAA compliant, we are GDPR, and all of those things, of course.
And I know I saw SOC 2 compliance as well,
Doctor
which is like
compliance, yeah, of course. These are, most companies want this. We have a security team which takes care of most of your, would be happy to fill your questionnaire and all the security questions.
someone's curious about the challenges with the potentials of AIs hallucinating, and how are you making sure that the AI is basing it off of the data in the repository?
But what's essential is that you know that it's not hallucinating, and that's where the idea is to tie back your AI findings to actual data. So you know where the data is coming from.
Okay. And you can always look at
Thanks.
the little, like the
For
supporting
example,
evidence.
yeah, for example, in this, it is before it tells you everything, it'll be like, hey, this data is picked from here, and I'm sure somebody spoke about something like this here.
One thing that I really like is the way that you can go into one of the videos and pull a supporting quote or clip. Is that something that you could show us?
Yes, amazing. So clipping sharing is at it to its core. You make something, you make a clip, like this is interesting work. Please tell me, please look at this. Look at what this user is saying. You save it, you copy the link, and you share it with whoever. You go in, anybody's here, you can check out easily. It did not. So they would be partnered up. They're able to play the video right from there. And yeah, essentially they have the access to that transcript. Also, they can add a comment and let them know their thoughts. But not just that, if we have to combine a few clips, that is one of those features which is highly used. Say if I want to look at only, what are people saying about our process? And we select these files and I say, hey, add to a playlist. We make a new playlist, important stuff. We have all these, so I've created a playlist. It has all the 6 files.
So my current process is,
It'll all talk about the process here.
So it just that quickly, you were able to say, find all the quotes that talk about process. So if you tagged them or the AI had found them and tagged them, made notes on them, then it grabbed them all. You could pick and choose if you wanted, and then it added them to a highlight reel.
Yeah.
And I never had to touch the video editor.
You never had to touch the video edit, and then you can embed it on your Confluence document. You can embed it in your Notion document. Like I said, hey, do I need another software to do this? No, we have that right inbuilt. So if you want to, like, I want this word, the quant data word coming in also, I'll just do it from right here, and I want this to end at special manager. I'll do it right here. I'll just drag the transcript handler. I'll say save.
And you just edited the start and stop points of the ins and
Exactly.
outs of your video. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. So a lot of these, research I've seen, they're very meticulous about each and every word. So you can do that right from here. So you do not need any other software to do that.
Clarify, what kinds of studies, data analysis is Marvin really good for?
So I would not say there is a favorite. So essentially the core of it is still a research software. So you can do your qualitative data analysis in here. Right? You can still annotate your files. You can still take live notes. So we have seen people writing their PhD thesis. A lot of our customers are students. They write their PhD thesis. We have customers who are, doing super quantitative analysis. You don't have to use AI to do your job. It'll make your life easier. It'll make your life a lot easier, but it does not. If you don't want to use that, so I would avoid, if you are working with and very sensitive and culturally sensitive research, where AI has not reached that extent where it would recognize your cultural, where it would add its own bias towards certain things. I would tend to avoid you using AI for that.
But you can
And
still use Marvin to
this is
support the
Marvin for
workflow
that.
and do it on your own. Is there anything coming up that we can expect to see from Marvin in the future?
We are adding a lot more integrations very soon. We're adding a lot of useful stuff when it comes to collection of data. We're adding super powerful AI and analyzing to the ability to find great insights very quickly on that part. And we're looking heavily into, hey, how do we democratize research also? So researchers are spending their time doing research work, talking to the users, managing their research panel. So we are working on our research panel also, which essentially lets you track all the people that you've been talking to. Say,
Wow.
hey, who are these people that we have talked to? They have filled the survey. So it lets you do the research ops, whoever has sent surveys to, who has replied to me, how many times have I talked to someone? Let's just look for my name if I'm here. Okay, so it seems like we've talked to me from a different email ID 1,500 times, and it'll tell you all the places, where I am there.
So for
So
managing clients that are users or users that you have an ongoing relationship with, that actually
exactly.
you can keep track of them, how often you have a repeat participant, but also if they are, important clients, you can monitor all the ways that you've engaged with them over time, which is great. We've seen so much in
That's I know.
our, and I know we haven't, and I know there's more we could still see.
Yeah.
What should folks do if they want to try out Marvin for themselves?
We have a free sign up. So sign up. Yes, it's a free sign up. You go ahead, use it. Otherwise, you can always sign up for a demo, depending on what you're looking for, essentially, as a company, as a researcher, as a product manager,
So you can
or
get a
a designer.
personalized tour.
Exactly. You can get a personalized demo, and it's always they're wonderful people, very friendly people who are always happy to give you a tour of the product.
This was really fun. Thank you so much for sharing the product you built and for building such a powerful product for researchers. We really appreciate it.
Of course. If we can make your research and your lives easier, nothing makes happier than that.